In this video, I want to talk to you about the importance of setting smaller goals in order to achieve big goals. Yes, I'm not talking to you about getting rid of your big goals, but I do want you to set smaller goals in order to get to the big goals. This is very important because I can tell you right now that the majority of people who are watching this video, and this is a fact, have goals that they set and get rid of, because you just simply cannot reach them. You just simply cannot attain your goals. It is a universal law. It is a law of nature that whatever it is that you believe, you can achieve. That is not just some motivational fluff. That is not just some mumbo jumbo pie in the sky type of rhetoric. It is a fact. Whatever it is that you believe you can achieve, you will be able to achieve. Right? You learn this from the law of attraction. You learn this from the Bible. You learn this from any kind of spiritual belief that you have. That if you can bring yourself to a point where you believe that something is possible, where you believe that you can attain something, it's only a matter of time until you can get to that place. There's a difference between you saying that you believe something and you actually believing the thing. We can say we believe. I can say to you right now that I believe that I will be a trillionaire. It's one thing for me to say it, it's another thing for me to actually believe it. Oftentimes, we say something, and for us to believe it, we're going to have to go through a process. There is a process that takes place for us to get to a point where we fully believe what we have said. We don't always believe it as we say it. We don't always believe that you are healed as you say that you are healed. You don't always believe that you are wealthy as you say that you are wealthy. Because oftentimes your current reality will contradict what you are saying. And so now it's for you to figure out, before you can be wealthy, before you can actually attain the physical manifestation of the thing that you say that you believe, you have to first go from a point where you proclaim to believe it to where you actually believe it, and then you will get to the point of attainment. This is very important. The reason why this is so important is because many of you listening to me right now have set big goals that you yourself don't believe. Now, I don't want you to get rid of your big goal. I don't want you to forget about it. I still want you to get it. I still want you to achieve your highest ambitions. But I want to suggest to you right now, here's the first step. The first step that you're gonna take is you're gonna take a piece of paper, notebook, journal, whatever it is that you have, and write down whatever your big goal is, your major goal, that impossible goal that you have for yourself. Write it down, and as soon as you write it down, what I want you to do is I want you to put it away and just let it go. Just put it somewhere safe, where one day you'll be able to open it up and have a look at it. And then you are gonna go on a series of sprints. You're going to go on a series of sprints. My friend, I want you to understand that it is much more comprehensible that you will finish a sprint than it is that you will finish a marathon. And this is the danger of people looking at life as if it is a marathon, because you will get overwhelmed when you consider the fact that you still have so long to go. And so what you need to do is you need to set smaller goals. You need to sit down and consider, okay, what am I going to need in order to get there? What is it that I will need to do in order to get to the big goal? What are some of the smaller goals that I will need to achieve? So I'll give you an example right now. The reason why somebody is struggling to believe that they can become a millionaire is because they have never in their lives seen 50,000. And so you haven't gotten to 50,000, and you are listening to all these people telling you how to become a millionaire and how they got their 100 million, how this one made 2 billion, how this one made 100 million. You're listening to all these people, but you haven't yet figured out how to get to your first step. And so that is why you are frustrated, because you're taking in all of this information, but you have no use for it. Right? I'm not against you being inspired by people who are far out in the future, who have achieved the things that you aspire to achieve one day. I'm not against that. But I'm saying that if you are going to educate yourself, if you are going to listen to people, you need to get into the habit of getting to people who are already at your next step. not people who don't even remember what it was like to get to your next step. Do you understand that if you're talking to somebody who has 100 billion, they have forgotten, they've forgotten what it took to get to 50,000. And so it's much more helpful for you to talk to someone who's gotten to 100,000 to say, hey, listen, how do I get to 50,000? And this is a humbling process. And the fact that it is a humbling process is the reason why so many people don't want to go through the process. And so they end up frustrated. They end up listening millions at a time, listening to somebody saying, this is how you get to 100 billion. This is how you make 10 million. And you haven't figured out how to make 10,000. So for the sake of this illustration, if you are trying to figure out how to get to 1 million, you want to write that down, put that to the side, and then figure out how to get to 10,000. If you've already been to 10,000, you want to figure out how do you get to 50,000. But I want to figure out how I get to my next step. And so I want to set the kind of goals that are made up of the little steps that I need to take. And the powerful thing about this is that it generates what we call momentum. So the more you set these big goals that you can't figure out how to achieve, every time you fail, you tend to just keep on failing. The failure accelerates. Your frustration just keeps on increasing. But if you have your big goal and you set smaller goals, when I say smaller goals, I don't mean goals that are insignificant. I just mean smaller than your main goal. Just smaller goals that are smaller than your main goal, but not so small that they would be insignificant to you. Small enough for you to be able to believe that it is possible. Because remember, the key word here is believe. We want to set the kind of goals that we actually believe are attainable. Because if I speak to many of the people right now who have vision boards, they don't believe that the things on their vision boards can actually happen. They don't believe it. They'll say they believe it, but they don't actually see it. To them, it doesn't seem possible at all. But they have to do it, and they have to say it simply because somebody told them that they need to say it. And so once you realize that setting goals is a game, my friend. It is a game, and it is how you generate momentum towards your big goal. Exciting news. Listen, I've got a new book out that is called Stay in Your Comfort Zone, The Mastery of Public Speaking. I know it sounds weird when I tell you to stay in your comfort zone, because you would expect me to tell you to burst out of your comfort zone. But in this case, I am telling you to stay in your comfort zone. That, my friend, is the secret of every single great speaker. It's the fact that they speak from the comfort zone. It's the fact that they can be uniquely themselves. They're not trying to be someone else. They're not trying to be like someone else. And so I want you to get your hands on this book. If you want to improve as a speaker, if you want to upskill, if you want to equip yourself with some information about how it is that you can become an exceptional speaker, Stay in Your Comfort Zone is out right now, and I promise you that this is the book that you have been looking for. And so I get used to winning. If you want to lose 20 kilos because you find yourself overweight, what you then do is you set your main goal to lose 20 kilos, you put that to the side, and then you set your first goal to lose 2 kilos. Once you lose 2, you acknowledge the progress. You acknowledge the win. You celebrate the win. You reward yourself for the win. And then you set the next goal to achieve 3. Right? So now because you've seen yourself lose 2, you know it's possible to lose 3. You know that it's possible to lose 3. And then from there, you challenge yourself to lose 5. Because now that you lost 2 and then you lost 3, you've lost 5 already. So now you realize, oh, it is possible to lose 5. And you see how the game unfolds all the way until you get to 20. It works that way no matter what it is, no matter what kind of goal you have, it works the exact same way. If you are trying to get your qualification, you know that you don't write 3 years worth of exams in a single year. You take it a semester at a time. And so if we understand it from that perspective, why don't you understand it about your other goals? The fact that you take it a semester at a time and you set your goals for this semester. And then you set your goals for the following semester. And then based on the success that you've had already, you set your next goal. And then you can double up on your goals. So I'm not saying to you that you want to live this mediocre life where you never achieve great things. I'm saying to you that you want to train yourself to achieve goals. Because as it stands, if you are struggling to hit that one goal, you'll realize that you actually don't know how to achieve goals. You don't know how to. And so I set these smaller goals. And as I set this goal, for example, I'll give you an example right now. We have a goal right now for my YouTube. My grand goal, I would like to have a YouTube channel that has 1 million subscribers. Especially doing what I do, I want to have 1 million subscribers, reaching different countries. But I understand that it is overwhelming. It is overwhelming when my previous video got 500 views. When my last video, the one before that, got 200 views. And so it is overwhelming to think that I can get to 1 million subscribers. And so what I do is I break it down, right? I want 1,000 subscribers. From 1,000, we got to 2. From 2, we got to 3. From 3, we got to 4. Now that we're at 4, now the goal is 5. Now here's the trick. Once we get to 5,000 subscribers, the next goal will be 10,000 subscribers. And the reason is, we saw how it is that you achieve 5,000 subscribers. We saw how it's possible to get 5,000. And so from there, we want 10. After 10, get this, once we hit 10, the next goal is 50,000. And so the more we do this, it forces us to then find ways to get to 5, find ways to get to 6, find ways to get to 10. And as we are doing that, the 1 million goal is still out there. It is still out there, and we still believe that we can get there, but I grow in my belief. Right? I grow in my belief that it can actually happen until I get to a point where I can feel it, where I can see it. When I close my eyes, I can see it. I see myself having it. I see myself having whatever that thing is. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it is a house, whether it is a certain type of car, whether it is a certain job, whether it is a certain level of financial freedom. You work your way up until you get to a point where you can feel it. Now, as for the speed is up to you, right? Because, listen, you can set a goal and say, I want to achieve this in a year, but you still will have to break it down into weeks. What is the goal for this week? What is the goal for this month? What's the goal for today? And as you do this, you train your mind to achieve goals, and your mind gets used to this. And before you know it, you are capable of handling big goals. But if you never achieved goals, it's impossible for you to understand how to do it. So I want to say to you, you need to be friends with the law of momentum. You have to use the law of momentum to your advantage. Because whether you understand it or not, the law is in effect. And the law of momentum will work against you if you are not aware. Because if you will realize, I'll give you an example. The way that this works, you wake up in the morning, and if you wake up in the morning and check your phone, all of a sudden you lay on or maybe it starts with you hitting the snooze button. Your alarm goes off in the morning, you hit the snooze button because you want 30 more minutes, 1 more hour. And then when you finally have to wake up, you check your phone and you scroll for a little bit on your phone. And then you realize that, oh my goodness, I've already wasted an hour on my phone and I haven't even gotten my day started. And then from there, you go on to try to get your day started, but it is so hard for you to take off. It is so hard for you to get your day started. And now it is 10 a.m. and you still can't figure out what's what. As compared to the day the night before you said, I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And when you said that, you woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. The moment you woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, something registered in your brain. There is something that happened in your mind because you just did what you said you would do. You just accomplished the first goal of the day, which was to wake up at 5 o'clock. And now that you've woken up at 5 o'clock, you had set a goal for you to do 10 push-ups, or for you to go for a run, or for you to sit down and have 20 minutes of meditation. And you do that. And as you do these little things, the momentum builds up. And by the time it gets to 10 o'clock in the morning, you're amazed at everything that you have done for the day. That is how speed is accomplished. So in your setting of goals, my friend, I want to encourage you to say to you, your big goals are valid. I want you to go out and achieve your big goals. But it's going to start with you setting smaller goals. It's going to start with you setting these small goals that will lead you to the big goal. What are your sub goals that need to be achieved? You can think about it in the illustration of a child. It's quite impressive for a child to run. That first step, man, that first step is a major milestone. That first step is celebrated. Everyone in the house is wowed and they're amazed. I mean, today you can walk. You can walk and you can run, but the day you took your first step, it was incredible, right? Right now you can piece words together and you can speak. But the day you said your first word, that was amazing, right? And even as a kid, before you could comprehend much, you saw all of these people excited, and there was this energy in the room where everyone was celebrating. And then you said another word, and then said another word. Then you were putting sentences together, then paragraphs, and all of a sudden you were having conversations. The same went for your walking. So I want you to approach your goals the exact same way. Do not be ashamed of setting smaller goals. Be humble enough to set smaller goals, achieve your smaller goals, celebrate them, and just keep on going and build your momentum. Every time that you achieve a goal, go on to the next one. My friend, this is not like wishes from a genie. You are welcome to set as many goals as you want to. So just get to setting as many of them as you want to, achieve them, and go on to the next one. I really do hope that this blesses you. I hope this helps you out. And I look forward a couple of months from now to you telling me of all the goals that you have achieved within the next couple of months that will lead you to your big goal. God bless you. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like this video. And if you found it useful, share the video with a friend. Tell them that it will be helpful to them. Tell them something about it. Tell them what you learned from it so that they can also have a look at it and it might help them out in the same way as well. I love you, and I'll see you on the next video.
When you change your thoughts, you change your life. This is Thoughts That Count with Poloko.